What are the blood gases? There are three blood gases. One is oxygen, the other is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the waste from combusting oxygen and glucose at the cellular level. And the other one is nitric oxide. These are the three blood gases that nose breathing balances. What do I mean by oxygen and carbon dioxide? Down at the end of the lungs there are it's like a little bunch of grapes, and they're called alveoli. And there's little capillary networks over there. And there are 4 docking stations on the hemoglobin for oxygen. But that can only be picked up if there's 4 molecules of carbon dioxide. So 4 molecules of carbon dioxide means 4 molecules of oxygen can be picked up. But if the person's breathing out through their through their mouth, they lose too much carbon dioxide. So maybe there's only 2 molecules of carbon dioxide, so only 2 molecules of oxygen can be picked up. That happens again at the cell. The docking station for oxygen must have carbon dioxide because there's a transfer. So when we breathe in and out through our nose, it ensures adequate amounts of carbon dioxide to be able to pick up the oxygen. But carbon dioxide is a vasodilator. So when we're having adequate amounts of carbon dioxide, of course you can have too much, but you can also have too little. But nose breathing allows the body to balance these gases. Vasodilator means open the capillaries. Nitric oxide is made in sinuses. When you mouth breathe, you do not make nitric oxide. You only make nitric oxide if you're breathing in and out through the nose. And nitric oxide is also a vasodilator. So good news for especially people that have high blood pressure. So we should breathe in and out through our nose, long, slow and deep. That's God's LSD. Long, slow, deep. Our abdominal muscles were designed to aid in the breathing process. When someone is a high chest breather, breathing through their mouth, don't you often see that when someone's having a panic attack or stressed? That high chest breathing stimulates your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight and flight nervous system. But when you breathe long, slow and deep, you stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous is peace, calm nervous system. And many people who find their blood pressure going up, if they would just change the way they breathe, if they would close their mouth, breathe through their nose and go long, slow, deep, they would find that they would calm, and when they calm down, the blood pressure also goes down. God, in His wisdom and mercy, put these processes in this amazing body that He created. I read a book called Breath. That's what it's called, Breath, by James Nestor. I read it about a year ago. And he quotes many professors and doctors and scientists over the years that have discovered what I'm sharing with you now about the importance of nose breathing. So inhale, I think you'll agree with me, takes on a whole new aspect. So it always must be nose. Nutrition. Nutrition is vital to strengthen the heart. Nutrition is vital to strengthen and repair these endothelium cells. And nutrition is vital to keep the blood nice and thin. And the food that does that better than any other food we find in Genesis 1:29, where God says, "Behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in the which of the trees a fruit bearing seed. To you it shall be for meat." So there's your nuts, your seeds, your legumes, your beans, also vegetables, your vegetables and some fruits. That's the perfect diet. That's the Garden of Eden diet. That's the diet that God designed for man. And that is the diet that will keep that blood nice and thin. Moderation. Moderation in all good things. We are also told to stop salt. Is that right? Well, there's salt and there's salt. Seawater. Seawater contains 92 minerals. And of those 92 minerals, 50% is chloride and 30% is sodium. And because they're the first crystals formed, man scoops them up, bleaches it white, puts aluminium with it so it runs freely, and has the hide to call it sea salt. We'll call it table salt because it really isn't sea salt. Table salt contains 2 minerals. And because in the middle of the United States of America there have been thyroid problems, they've added another mineral, and that's iodine. But it's an inorganic iodine. Did you know that when the sea waves roll, the iodine goes up into suspension, lands on the earth? So we get iodine from vegetables grown coastally. But the hand-harvested Celtic salt. The Celtic salt is a hand-harvested sea salt, and it contains 82 minerals. Where are the other 10? They're in such pico proportions, they're barely measurable. And France has declared that whole area where they hand harvest the sea salt like they have done for centuries a heritage site. So it cannot be changed, it cannot be polluted. And it's almost like it's on an estuary like this, and they've got these huge big natural, almost like shallow lakes. But what happens is the sun and the wind comes along and dries them, so they naturally dry. And they dry in crystal forms. And in those crystal forms are locked some of those minor trace nutrients, like iodine. That's why when you get the lumpy salt, keep it lumpy. Put it in your mouth before each glass of water and crunch it, and then you're getting those gases that are locked up in those crystals. Isn't that incredible? Only in trace amounts, but if you're having this all through the day, that helps to maintain your iodine levels. Only minute traces, but when you're getting minute traces all the time, it helps to maintain it in the body, because iodine doesn't stay long in the body. So that's why God designed us to have little bits, little bits, little bits. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, Jesus said, "Ye are the salt of the earth. If the salt has lost its savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and trodden underfoot of men." How does salt lose its savour? It's Old English. I love the poeticness of Old English. How does the salt lose its savour? I'd like to suggest that this table salt has lost its savour. It's lost all the other minerals. And seawater is called an isotonic solution because it is the exact same mineral balance and proportion is found in blood, is found in body tissues, it's found in our bones. We're made up of minerals. So this is actually a dangerous salt. It's a dangerous salt, and it's a big contributing factor to high blood pressure.